What's up guys, my name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you my Monarch deck profile. This deck is purely Monarch, there's no hand traps, and nothing like that. I utilize this just to play with friends and go through a couple different options in which I can do without the hand traps so I can see how this deck plays. It has a lot of good control capabilities while also being able to set up a actual controllable board while being able to beat over with bigger monsters. This deck has a lot of fun capabilities from locking your opponent out of the extra deck, skill draining them, setting up capabilities such as monsters that can spin back a card, force them to discard a card, all of that. So let's go ahead and hop right into this deck profile and I'll go over a little more. So first up, as you've already seen, I play 3 Tessera the Primal Squire. You can reveal 1 Monarch spell and trap in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon 1 monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effect of Tessera, the Primal Squire, once per turn. So, while it's a free special summon if you reveal a spell or trap for Monarchs, the other effect of it is, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can summon one of your recruiters, such as Edia, the Heavenly Squire. If this card is no more special summon, you can special summon 1 monster with 800 attack or 1000 defense from your deck and defense position, except Edia, the Heavenly Squire. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 of your banished Monarch spells and traps, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Edia, the Heavenly Squires once per turn. While Edia is also a fun card to utilize, it does allow us to special summon from the deck and defense position our Eidos, the Underworld Squire. Eidos is if this card is normal or special summon during the main phase, or your main phase this turn, you can tribute summon 1 monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 monster with 800 attack, 1000 defense in your graveyard, except Eidos, the Underworld Squire, and special summon it in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Eidos, the Underworld Squire, once per turn. Now, do note that in some of the newer deck build versions, you will see they aren't playing 3 of each of the Squires. Most, they're playing 3 of Tessera, 2 of Edia, 2 of Eidos. The reason why I'm playing 3 and 3, and 3 of everything is basically to be able to get maximum recurrence, maximum bodies in which I can just tribute summon and move forward. Now, going into the actual Monarchs of the deck, I do play 3 Eidos, the Underworld Monarch. It is one of the newer cards from Dune, and it's a lot of fun to utilize. If this card is no more special summon, you can add 1 Monarch spell or trap, or 1 monster with 2800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can declare 1 attribute, make 1 face-up monster on the field, become that attribute. If you tribute summon a monster with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand or special summon it. You can only use each effect of Eidos, the Underworld Monarch, once per turn. So, since the Squire got upgraded to a Monarch, this card is really beneficial because we can change its attribute to really fit whatever we need. So if we need a Fire for Thestalos, a Dark for Caius, anything like that, we can utilize this card to allow us to get the secondary effects off. Next, I do play, for the Mega Monarchs, 3 Ether the Heavenly Monarch, Ether the Heavenly Monarch, 2 Erebus the Underworld Monarch, and 1 Thestalos the Mega Monarch. Now, why do I do this 3-2-1 split? Well, Ether is the fun card where you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 tribute summon monster. If this card is tribute summon, you can send 2 Monarch spell and trap cards with different names from your hand and or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon 1 monster with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense from your deck, but return it to the hand during the end phase. During your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can banish 1 Monarch spell or trap from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon this card. This is a quick effect. This card is basically our free summon into Erebus, Thestalos, or Eidos, so we can further our board and further our extension to get more recovery or interact with our opponent. Erebus, the Underworld Monarch, you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 tribute summon monster. If this card is tribute summon, you can send 2 Monarch spell and trap cards with different names from your hand and or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand at random, graveyard, or side of their field into the deck. Once per turn during either player's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard one Monarch spell or trap card, then target one monster in your graveyard with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense and add to your hand. So, while this card looks really good and is really, really cool for design-wise, it is a zombie, so if our opponent uses Zombie World, we can utilize this to tribute even then, because Zombie World will lock us out from tribute summoning unless we're tributing zombie monsters. Then finally, we have the one Thessalos, the Mega Monarch. You can tribute summon this card by tributing one tribute summon monster. If this card is tribute summoned, look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from their hand. If it was a monster card, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original level times 200. If this card was tribute summoned by tributing a fire monster, add this additional effect. You can also inflict 1000 damage to your opponent after that. So, like I was saying, we can change Eidos to a fire, tribute it to summon Thessalos. Thessalos will then get to rip a card and then burn for 1000, which can further help. But aside from that, that's all the actual Monarchs that I'm playing in the deck and all the monsters I'm playing in the deck currently. Up next, I am playing a lot of spells and traps, and you'll see those here shortly. But to start off, I'm playing effectively 3 Domain of the True Monarch and 1 Terraforming. If you're looking for a way to lock your opponent out of the extra deck, you're basically playing 4 copies of this card, given that Terraforming functions as a way to get you to the Domain of the True Monarchs. Domain, for those that haven't seen it or have read it, while you have no cards in your extra deck and you're the only player that controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. If a tribute summon monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calculation only. Once per turn, you can reduce the level of one monster with 2800 and 1000 defense in your hand by 2 until the end of this turn, even after they are summoned or set, and even if this card leaves the field. So basically, you can reduce their level, make them a level 6, so instead of them needing a tribute summon of 2, so you need a tribute 2, you can just tribute 1 monster to get them onto the board a lot faster. Up next is basically the main deck's Pot of Greed, which is 3 Pantheism of the Monarchs. This card is really nice because it turns any dead Monarch spell or trap card in your hand into a draw 2. So you send 1 Monarch spell or trap card from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can banish this card from your graveyard, reveal 3 Monarch spell and trap cards from your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 for you to add to your hand and shuffle the rest back into the deck. You only use this effect of Pantheism of the Monarchs once per turn. So you can keep utilizing the draw 2 effect, but the one thing that you can really utilize is the reveal 3. Note, it does not say reveal 3 of a different name, so you can reveal 3 Domain, 3 Tenacity, 3 Monarch's Revolt. You can even reveal 3 Monarch's Erupt if you're playing that. So there's a lot of capability you can go with there. Next up, we got the Spell Searcher, which is 3 Tenacity of the Monarchs. You reveal 1 monster in your hand with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 attack and 1000 defense. Add 1 Monarch spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, except Tenacity of the Monarchs. You can only activate 1 Tenacity of the Monarchs per turn. So basically, this is the capability of getting us to our Pantheism, our Domain, anything that we can really utilize to continue our plays. Next, I got 3, the Monarch's Revolt. This card is a new card in which it is really helpful because this is our Monster Searcher. You can discard 1 card, reveal 3 monsters from your deck with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense, and or 800 attack and 1000 defense. Your opponent chooses 1 for you to add to your hand, and you send the rest to the graveyard. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your hand. You can only use each effect of the Monarch's Revolt once per turn. So basically, being able to utilize these effects in searching for a starter or searching for a Monarch that we can tribute summon, while also being able to allow us to get a free summon of a extender onto the board, such as Edia or Eidos. Next, of course, I'm playing the 2 Monarchs Master Plan. A lot of people play this at 3. I'm only playing at 2 because I don't run one of the original Monarchs at the bottom. But it does allow you to send 1 Monarch spell and trap from your deck or graveyard, or from your deck to the graveyard, except the Monarch's Master Plan. If this card is banished, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, add 1 monster with the same attribute that has 2400 attack and 1000 defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then you can apply this effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summons Zaborg the Thunder Monarch, Mobius the Frost Monarch, Thessalos the Firestorm Monarch, Grandmarg the Rock Monarch, Rise of the Storm Monarch, or Caius the Shadow Monarch. You can only use this effect of the Monarch's master plan once per turn. So, being able to really get those onto the board can help out a lot. It just depends on what you're running. Then finally, for the last spells, I'm running 2 the Monarch Stormforth and 1 spell card Soul Exchange. A lot of people are like, well, why don't you run just 3 Monarch Stormforth? That way you can just search them. Well, I do a 2-1 split here because the Monarch Stormforth is a fun one to run because once during this turn, if you attribute summon or if you attribute a monster for a tribute summon, you can tribute one monster your opponent controls as if you controlled it. You can only activate the Monarch Stormforth once per turn. During the turn you activate this card, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. So, even though it's an extra deck lockout, you basically get to tribute one of your opponent's monsters that you don't want to deal with and summon a Monarch from your hand by attributing that monster. Spell card Soul Exchange is basically that, but it doesn't lock you to just one monster. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon one monster, and you can tribute monsters your opponent controls, even if you do not control them. But it cannot be tributed this turn. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, your opponent can apply the preceding card's effect. You can only activate 1 spell card Soul Exchange per turn. This card is insane because basically if our opponent has, say, 1 or more, so maximum 2 usually, issue like monsters on the board, we can tribute them using this card to where we can basically tribute over those monsters to summon our own Mega Monarch and get it onto the board where it cannot be used as a tribute if they decide that, oh, well, I'm playing True Monarch, I'm just going to tribute over your monster. Well, unfortunately for you, it's the only monster on the board. It can't be tributed given the Soul Exchange cost effect. So, that's all for the spells that I'm playing in this deck for right now, but I am playing a few traps as well. And for those traps, I am playing 2 the Monarch's Erupt, 1 Monarch Perfection, and 1 the Prime Monarch. The Monarch's Erupt is basically a face-up skill drain if you control a tribute summon monster. And while you have no extra deck cards or you don't have an extra deck. You can activate this card only if you have no cards in your extra deck and you control a tribute summon monster. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field. While those monsters are face-up on the field, except tribute summon monsters, during your end phase, if you control no tribute summon monsters, send this card to the graveyard. So while you control a tribute summon monster, it stays on the board. If you don't, it then leaves during your next end phase. It rarely comes up, but it does help out a lot. Next up, we have the Monarch's Perfection, or Monarchic Perfection. Once per chain, if your opponent special summons a monster and you control a tribute summon monster, except during the damage step, you can banish 1 Monarch spell or trap from your graveyard, and then activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Monarchic Perfection once per turn. Destroy 1 monster on the field. Destroy up to 2 spells and traps on the field. Discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Destroy 1 face down card on the field. Place 1 card from the field on top of the deck, and banish 1 card on the field. So, for those that are interested, each effect that you can activate is a result and a effect of an original Monarch. So, for destroy 1 monster on the field, we have, what is it? It's not Ryza. Sorry, give me 1 second. I know they list them on here. It's Zaborg. So we have Zaborg. Then we have Mobius, which is to destroy 2 spells and traps on the field. Discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand is Thessalos. Destroy 1 face down card on the field is Grandmarg. Place 1 card from the field on top of the deck is Ryza. And banish 1 card on the field is Caius. Then for our final card, we're playing the 1 Prime Monarch. Once per turn, you can target 2 Monarch spells and trap cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other Monarch spell or trap card from your graveyard, special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster. Fairy type, light, level 5, attack 1000, defense 2400. This card is not treated as a trap card. You can only use this effect of the Prime Monarchs once per turn. So basically, it just becomes a body that you can utilize during your turn or your opponent's turn to really tribute summon a monster if you have Ether or anything else that allows you to tribute summon for a monster. that is all I have for this deck profile. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I do try to put out as much information as possible, and I try to read everybody's comments as they come in. But I'm sorry if I'm a bit slow at that, but I do appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day to watch this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?